What's going on, guys? This is MTG Game State. I'm here with the Discord, here with PB and Andy, the ones and onlys. But real quick, I want to talk with Andy, my moderator in the Twitch chat, but also a moderator over on my Pauper Commander League, who's a staff member, gave me help with some stuff over there, running and organizing it, as well as just getting in some cards, the usual Market Watch stuff of the week. But really today, I just want to talk about what we did right, what we did wrong, and by we I mean me, with the Pauper Commander League and what I was really proud of and what I felt like I could do better. So yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
Yo, what up, Andy? How's it going? I'm fucking on. So yo, real quick,
Hi.
Andy, I don't have any experience running tournaments, organizing things. I mean, I guess before this, my only experience organizing a Magic event would have been our bi-monthly Chaos Sealed event that I run with Hardcore Ashy, which
Okay.
kind of has been said has had similar vibes to like a card shop.
Yeah.
So this felt like that, but on steroids for me. I don't know. And I had to write all this
So-
shit out that you see on the screen. It's crazy.
Yeah. So maybe something you might be surprised to learn. I also don't really have experience organizing things like this either. Everything that I know, I've learned from watching other people do it.
I mean, dude, you as a go-between, as someone I needed as staff who was just there to talk to the judge or the players, and you even followed check-in. You did things that even I didn't know about, so I thought that was real good. You just kept it moving, and like people were checking in. You wrote in the mod chat who checked in, which was good for me to, because I'm a tournament organizer for this, but I'm also a participant, which is kind of a little weird. So
Yeah, you double
and
dipping a little bit
having
there.
no experience was tough, but fortunately we were surrounded by the Pauper Commander guys who are tournament organizers themselves. Shout out one more game, Chris, my boy. Fucking love that guy. I gotta give him also one of my organs among many of you. I don't know. So I have some notes here. I want to say things we got right. We had like we said, players with league and tourney experience who were on the staff and moderator end. The CEDH community, top tier banger community representation. I wanted to say thank you so much for any of the members from there fucking with us and helping us out. I know I'm friends with some people who are part of those communities, but even just remove the friendship just as peers. I really appreciate the help there. So I thought what we got right was advertising to people who have experience running, one, the top deck software, two, knowing how tournaments within Magic the Gathering usually operate and all that. So I felt like I had a lot of fish in their environment, so to speak. They're acclimated. So I thought that is one thing we got right. Having 1 to 2 judges and tourney staff bouncing around, like you and Liam. I don't know. Again, which one of my children do you want? You know, like, fucking love you guys.
Take the middle child, please.
And then another thing, I guess, being patient. Really, everyone being patient, myself being patient, and learning more from my own blow-ups in other leagues and discords to now running my own thing and being a lead in something that's more than just streaming or something I'm not used to doing, like music and stuff, or I am used to doing like music and stuff. Like, kind of understanding my level of patience and other people's level of patience. I thought we got right.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think having a good group of people, because everybody seems to be a solid person. And also having with the exception of the point system, which we are going to iron out going forward, because we know, um, we had pretty clear expectations as to what we wanted from people, and I
Yeah.
think that was pretty important.
It was
And
weird. So
just
the people I wanted expectations from fulfilled those expectations. You know what I'm saying?
yes, you put the right people in the right places.
Thanks, Andy. I appreciate that. So what I felt like we got wrong with the Pauper Tourney League, and even if it's not Pauper, I want to say I feel like these will be notes, anything to reference anyone who's using Top Deck to run an event or organize something. These are my notes. You want to get staff, at least 1 to 2 committed friends or people you know, peers that even if it's not in a Discord digital world, if you're gonna do this at like your trading card shop, so PB, if you're working at a TCG store, you're gonna host an event. I'd say like writing things down, having like a good in between person to do things that you could just delegate to do to keep everything going. Having your judges walking around the pods, having players report their matches, and a good system to report matches. And I want to say what we did wrong, or what I did wrong, we'll get into. Again, I set up my point system wrong. If you guys see on my little docket here, my little information, I set up our point system as first place gets 3, second 2, third 1. Yo, Zen! Thank you for the raid, bro. Appreciate you. We're going over the Commander League, what we did right, what we got wrong. Hope you're well, what we were streaming, what were you doing. I saw you were back on it. So going into our point system, Paragon Hobbs, one of our contenders, in chat, in the Twitch chat, was saying, I think people were confused about points going in, and I agree. Gaming Envisions,
Yes.
welcome in. And I agree. Even my mods, even other, so Paragon and everyone in chat, in the Twitch chat, even my own friends who were participating from my community, going into like a week before the game day started, they were like, "Oh wait, what?" So I got burp trapped in my throat. But they're like, "Wait, what's up with the points? How's that gonna work at the end?" And I just
I was
want
so confused.
yeah. And so I just want to say my
I was
point
so
system.
confused.
The current point system in place is shitty. I'm gonna fix it. So draws are 1 point, buys are 0 points, I believe, or we might have to fix that to 1. First place will be 5 points. Second place will be 4. Third place will be, you get what I'm saying? Another thing going in was the infinite. Now that I know how people are doing infinites in this environment, figuring out my infinite policy as far as when people lose, how the turn order goes, because Scott was a little confused on that. Maybe that was valid. His concerns were heard, and I do want to fix that. So maybe if it's not clear enough, we could fix that, or maybe we could talk more as a group on how we want to solve our infinite stuff. Because there are a lot of players who play for fucking infinite, you know? And it does it in a specific way I'm not used to, with burning everyone. Paragon, thank you for this.
I'm gonna say, Paragon, we adopted our local infinite rule. The guild challenge infinite rule, I'll say. We adopted that rule.
Yeah, so if a player gets infinite, it'll go in seat order. So like if player 3 goes infinite, the person getting 4th place will go player 4. Player 1 would go,
yeah, so we're going to have to modify that. So let me amend what I've just said. We adopted the infinite rule from the local shop that Paragon and I play at, that they use in the guild in the guild challenge, but we're going to have to modify that some, and that's okay. That's okay, but it was a good place to start at least, because then we have a basis from which to build upon.
No, that's what I'm saying, and I think we have a lot of people who are really enthusiastic that want to help build this too, this league and this little environment, help promoting the Pauper Commander, competitive Pauper Commander specifically, CPDH, I should say. Because going into, I want to say another note, really getting more in tune with the format and knowing, I don't want to put the format, our little league, in a vacuum of like competitive lists, but really knowing the different competitive archetypes now. Like bringing a Soul Herder list as an example, I don't think is going to be really as good in a competitive environment that we're running now, that I kind of see how people are running. Paragon, as an example, had an off meta, I felt like, deck that was really strong in doing stuff in the pods we were in. So there was a mix, I'd say, because we brought the CPDH guys, and obviously one of the guys who is a voice of the rules committee. We brought in people who have been grinding the format and are like deckless names that you're gonna find on Moxfield. You're gonna find these guys as the sole deck builder. And then mixing in the pack boys with our own various experience. It was just a little interesting to see, but now I get it. It's like, oh shit, we really did throw ourselves in with the Sharks and Eagles, I gotta say. And I'm glad we all clawed our way through, and everyone had a fun time. That's all I heard, and that's all that really mattered to me. Paragon 2, I asked last minute, because I refused all Moxfield digital environment players But the people who did use them, I did trust, and I was really thankful for being respected players. So appreciate you on that. Another thing I'd say, my last and final note, that what we got wrong, what I got wrong, leading up to the event and just more promotion, I didn't bug enough people. As much as if you guys felt like I was annoying you in the DMs, you're like, oh man, this guy's persistent. I feel like personally I could have been more persistent to help really get 16 players so we can get even pods. We had 4 pods, but one of the pods was 3 people. So I really tried, but when you run a tournament, people will drop last minute, people will drop in the middle of a tournament. When you go to a local game store, if you're gonna get into a pre-release, if you're gonna get into, let's say, a sealed event, a draft event, a modern, whatever, in-store event, people will drop over subsequent amount of time, maybe at the beginning of check-in, maybe. So I was used to that, I was ready for that. It's just having people on the back end and having more reserves or having a larger net of pool of people to work with and network with. I felt like if you're gonna do a league, if you're gonna do any site, even if it was a Super Smash Bros. League, advertise. As an example, I'm a musician. I used to book my band. I used to try to set up tours and stuff. And realistically, when you're doing that, you gotta be on everyone's ass. You gotta be on the promoter's ass constantly. You get the date finally after emailing them every single day and harassing them. You get the date to be put on the bill. Keep in contact constantly. You're on your way to the spot. Keep in contact constantly. In a respectful way, not in a real harassing way, obviously, not in an unhinged way, but in a showing that you're on it way, because you need to get the show, you need to get the people. So that's my advice. Andy, closing thoughts on that?
I think honestly, I would agree generally, but being that this is season 0, I think it's actually kind of better that we're a little bit smaller, because then that's how do I want to word it? Less too many cooks. There's not too many cooks.
No, dude, and the cooks who did show up, what's up, PB?
Room for growth.
Yeah.
Well, there's room for growth, but also having less people in makes it easier to manage in a way, especially for your first season. You don't want it to have like a huge turnout necessarily being the first showing, so that you know what works with a smaller audience, so that it's easier to modify it, and you don't have a giant group that you have to then be like, all right, we have to manage this huge pool of people. You have a small group of people that you're like, okay, we can do this. It's like a control group essentially. We have a small control group.
Yeah,
and then
Paragon said that too.
Hopefully we'll have a much larger turnout for season 1, but we will then have by season 1 we will have most of these things ironed out, hopefully, we'll have all of these things ironed out, and we'll have better ideas as to going forward as to what we should and shouldn't be doing.
The ground floor will be laid out, like legitimately laid out.
Yeah, we'll have the ground floor.
Yeah.
So we'll be seasoned by then.
Yeah. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. And I really appreciate the time. Since you've met up with the whole Pack Boys community, you've been honestly, like, for real, one of the inner circle members, one of the inner plotters, similar to Plop Dumps and Zen and all the homies, Yoda, you know who you all are. So thanks for this is kind of like a spin-off of SmokePacks. I feel like this little Commander League stuff. So even though it kind of is in tune with what I'm doing, it's not necessarily, I'm not trying to exploit to stream or whatever. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, just thank you for wanting to see what's going on with this and just being part of the experience. Same with anyone in chat who participated, anyone in chat or, PB, like I said, people who necessarily weren't interested in joining up, but, gave me their blessing and helped give me that spirit bomb energy.
You're welcome, man.
No, so yeah, that's my bleeding heart moment. And now we're going to get into the finance segment. Anyone feel free to give a shout on this. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Top 3 plus a 4th honorable mention of the week as far as MTG finance, as each card is technically like its own little stock. And now for my market finance, a lot of it's more so cards. I kind of, again, we're leaning back more into not looking into the meta, what's used across the 60 card formats and stuff. Just things I've been seeing in my time playing Magic lately this month and what's kind of exciting me. Out the gate, we got a Commander Tarkir Dragonstorm card, Will of the Mardu. I got really excited because this card got used against me. And I noticed after I just played a Chroma's Will. So I didn't know in the Commander sets for Tarkir, they have a new Will cycle, Will of the Blah. This time being the clans of Tarkir. So Will of the Mardu is a 3-drop white, 2 in a plains. Choose one. If you control a commander as you cast a spell, you may choose both instead. Create a number of 1/1 red warrior creature tokens equal to the number of creatures target player controls. So pick on the token player, you know. Or Will of the Mardu deals damage to target creature equal to the number of creatures you control. So I like this card because I thought it'd be funny to use that last ability on Brash Taunter, so then you could actually like kill someone, hopefully like an opponent, with the Brash Taunter ping, you know, with the Will of the Mardu pick. And again, if someone had the Avenger Zendikar, pull out all those tokens, that first ability is going to be kind of funny as well. We get to match up to their power and then maybe even kill something big on another opponent's board with that second ability. I just thought it was cool. Average listing on TCGplayer as of today, April 18th, 2025, $5.23. Market's buying at $4.75. So out the gate of a recent Commander set that just dropped, we're getting I wouldn't call this a bulk rare, okay? This is a $5 to $10 card. It's kind of pricey. Only used in Commander. I mean, sure, it's legal in Vintage, Legacy, everywhere else. It's not used in any lists like that, though. And there is an extended art, so it's going to be tied to like that one's price as well. And usually the Commander cards, when they have unique abilities and they're kind of new to the set, they've never existed before, over time they do tend to become chase cards. Like we saw the cards from Ikoria, the precons from those, have chase cards that are used in like CEDH all the time, or higher power Commander. So I don't know, keep your eye out for that. Moving into card number 2, shout out if you know him in the communities and over in Tolarian Community College or just the spell table circles, over in Pack Boys Nation as well. I want to shout out Chill Bro, my boy, Chill Bro Swaggins, the man with the plan. Honestly, literally goated king. Well, I guess we'll focus on the Tarkir Dragonstorm print, but this is like a dollar card. Dragonfire Blade is a 1-drop artifact, and it's kind of in the Blade of X and X cycle, I'd say. It's like an unofficial included because of the colors that it'll be protected from. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has hexproof from monocolored. And equipped 4, this ability costs 1 less to activate for each color of that creature it targets. So if you have like a 3-color creature, this card will be easier to equip, obviously. Hexproof from monocolored is kind of big, and this card was used as a game-ending piece. The showcase frame, average listing on TCGplayer is about $2. People are buying at about $1.48. And even then, its base set is about coming up to $1 if we round it up. It's 82 cents. Market's buying at 73. So this is a super, super dumb bulk rare that should be honestly $5 to $10, like the Sword of X and X cycle, in my opinion. Any of my Commander players let me know, but I think this is, like, again, I saw it used against me. It's a game-ending piece. That's all I got to say. Yep.
It's yep.
No, for real.
I am much of a Commander player. That it's working at LGS. You see a lot of Commander games happen. Dragonstorm precons have been going crazy, and I see this get put on pretty much every single one of the Commanders. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I was playing against Showbro when he was using a Dragonstorm deck, or it was a custom deck he had, either one, but he used this to equip on, and that was the one thing that couldn't stop me from actually.
What do you know?
him.
A lot of removal is monocolored. So
dude, that's what I was thinking as it was happening. I was like, oh my god, I can't stop this.
there's so much removal that is one color. That the only thing that I'm thinking of offhand is like Anguished Unmaking.
Yeah.
Or like Vindicate, I think.
Crackle of Doom.
Like those. Yeah.
Yeah. So card number 3, Wave of Reckoning. Mercadian Masks print, but I was looking at the Commander 2016 print. So it is a reprint of an older card. This is a 5-drop cost, 4 generic and 1 plains, 1 white. It is a sorcery. Each creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. Legal and Legacy Vintage Commander, not used in any decks over there. Average listing on TCGplayer is $27.72. Market's buying at $6. Again, I wouldn't call it a bulk rare, guys. I'm not going to call it a bulk rare. It's tied to Mercadian Masks, which is an older set, which is going for $20. People are buying for about $5 on this, so people are getting ahead of this for some reason. Something in Commander must have happened that they spoiled. That we'll figure out post clarity, post card clarity. But I think this is just a good niche, and Commander 2016 had some really good cards in those decks. I just think it's a good board wipe. I don't think it's gonna stop Indestructible, obviously, but it's just a very unique board wipe in white, and it's a cheap. Usually stuff is gonna be in 5, but for 1 white pip, I think it's a good hit for me. I don't know. I just thought I saw it and I was like, you know what? It's a little.
I'm
it's a little cheeky there.
thinking the new Abzan deck from Takir, because it's a Walls deck, is my thought.
No, yeah, cards have been going up for walls or stuff that cares about.
Yeah, I
if
know
their power
Doran's
is
been
2 or
jumping
less.
too.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The
that's fair.
OG Abzan Wall Commander, Doran the Siege Tower.
What does that do?
It makes every creature assign damage equal to its toughness rather than including
okay.
opponents. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Alright.
The OG version of the
Our honorable mention though, PB, Andy, please walk with me. If I could read from
Walking.
far away.
Okay.
Oh, it's Merchant Scroll,
Oh,
which is going up hard as fucking price. Probably, honestly, maybe
So
for what you're
hard.
saying, PB, because of that Commander. But I want to highlight the Mystery
doing?
Booster 2 one because I do own it.
yeah.
Future Sight frame, kind of funny. This is a 2-drop blue. It's a sorcery. It's 1 in a blue. Search your library for a blue instant card, which is always going to be like some tutor. Reveal that card,
yeah.
put it into your hand, then shuff. Restricted in vintage, which is interesting. I care about because it's a good card. Pardon me, burp stuck in my throat because I'm so excited. I'm going to cry. So passionate about this. It's a good card in competitive Pauper Commander lists. This is going to be used to find any of your cards that help like get you the game, obviously. If you can't get it by turn 3 or 4, this card's going to be there to help you. Not used in any... Oh, here we go. It's used in some Pauper, 60-card Pauper lists. It's used in vintage lists. So I'd say, honestly, overall, this is a Pauper piece through and through. If anything's going on in Commander, we'll figure it out later. But yeah, that's all I'm saying. Search for your Mystic Tutor with this card. There you go. End of story.
Or you search for your counterspell.
Yeah. More than likely, search for the... What is it? A Stifle or a Dispel, something that's going to hit the instants and sorceries. Yeah. So I think this is just a good card to have. If it's the Mystery Boosters, definitely on Mystery Booster 2, definitely those are premium cards to get. For Mystery Booster 2, this is an average listing on TCGplayer, $19.99. Market listing is $9.57. So again, I wouldn't call this bulk rare. It's a $10 card leading up for that print. It's again suffering being an oversized card. It's a Judge promo. That's going to be a lot of money. That one's going for $40. It was originally printed in Homelands, so that's an old school set. And 60-card Pauper, I've been studying the format. A lot of players over in Europe outside of the United States or the I'd say like the Americas play in that format. So older cards are going to see more use if they're used, I'd say, outside of like, you know, just the USA or the Americas. If there's like a whole global reach on cards, you know, so to speak, specifically in formats where there's bigger like pools of players playing than normally like standard would have, things are going to go up in price. You know, people are going to want the card. It's going to go up in all markets all over. I think just Merchant Scroll kind of suffers from that. And by suffering, I just mean, you know, going up in price. So yeah, that's my cards for the week. It's my whole spiel. I appreciate everyone for being here, giving your input. Andy, PB, you know?